Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, introduced the concept of the shadow as part of his theory of the human psyche. The shadow represents the unconscious, hidden aspects of our personality, traits, desires, and emotions that we suppress or deny because they don't align with our conscious self-image. These are often the parts of ourselves that we deem unacceptable, immoral, or weak. But Jung argued that confronting the shadow is essential for personal growth and self-awareness. He believed that by engaging with our shadow, we could unlock a deeper understanding of ourselves and ultimately live a more authentic and fulfilling life. Jung believed that the shadow forms in early childhood, as we are conditioned by society, parents, and culture to behave in certain ways. For example, if a child is repeatedly told that anger is bad, they may suppress their anger and push it into the unconscious. Over time, these repressed emotions and traits don't just disappear. Instead, they manifest in hidden ways, perhaps through passive aggression, self-sabotage, or projection onto others. In Jungian psychology, projection is when we see our own repressed qualities in other people. If someone irritates you irrationally, it might be because they reflect something within yourself that you haven't yet acknowledged. This is why recognizing our projections can be a powerful first step in shadow work, as it allows us to reclaim aspects of ourselves that we have unknowingly disowned. The shadow isn't just negative, though. It also contains hidden strengths and creative potential that we may have ignored due to social conditioning. For example, a person who was discouraged from expressing their artistic side in childhood might find that their shadow contains a deep well of creativity waiting to be explored. By integrating the shadow, acknowledging and understanding these repressed aspects, we become more whole and authentic. Jung called this process individuation, which is the journey towards self-realization and psychological completeness. The goal isn't to eliminate the shadow, but to become conscious of it, to balance it with our conscious personality rather than being controlled by it unconsciously. Only by acknowledging our hidden depths can we fully understand and accept who we are. So, how do we integrate the shadow? One of the most effective methods is self-reflection and inner work. This can involve journaling, meditation, or working with a therapist trained in Jungian psychology. Shadow work requires deep honesty with oneself, questioning emotional reactions, acknowledging negative thoughts without judgment, and identifying patterns of projection. Dreams can also be a gateway to the shadow, as Jung believed they reveal hidden aspects of our psyche. Paying attention to recurring themes in dreams can help us uncover what we might be repressing. Additionally, engaging in active imagination, a technique Jung developed that involves consciously dialoguing with unconscious aspects of the self, can help bring the shadow into awareness in a controlled and meaningful way. A common fear is that facing the shadow will make us more negative or destructive. But in reality, repressing the shadow is what leads to unhealthy behaviors. When we integrate these hidden parts, we gain control over them rather than allowing them to unconsciously control us. This doesn't mean acting on every dark impulse, but rather understanding where they come from and transforming them into something constructive. A person who acknowledges their suppressed anger, for example, might learn to set healthier boundaries instead of lashing out or being overly submissive. Likewise, someone who integrates their shadow might find new sources of strength, resilience, and emotional intelligence that they previously denied themselves. Jung's concept of the shadow is not just about individual psychology, it also applies to society. Cultural and collective shadows exist when entire groups suppress uncomfortable truths about their history, beliefs, or actions. This often leads to scapegoating and division, as people project their denied flaws onto others. Wars, discrimination, and social conflicts can often be traced back to unresolved shadow elements within a collective consciousness. Understanding the shadow on a societal level can lead to greater empathy and collective healing, just as it does on a personal level. When societies acknowledge their collective shadows, they open the door to reconciliation and genuine progress. One of the most profound aspects of shadow work is that it offers a path towards self-acceptance and transformation. When we integrate our shadow, we free ourselves from the unconscious chains that dictate our behavior. Instead of being fragmented or living in denial, we can integrate all parts of ourselves and live with greater authenticity. Shadow work is not a quick or easy process, but it is one of the most rewarding journeys a person can take. As Jung famously said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." So the question is, are you ready to face your shadow? If you are, the rewards are immense: greater self-awareness, emotional depth, creativity, and a newfound sense of wholeness. Shadow work is the key to unlocking the full potential of who you truly are. The journey inward may be challenging, but it is the only way to step into your true power and embrace your complete self.